G'day folks, Uncle Knackers here from DIYForKnuckleheads. Whew. I've got myself a couple of big problems. Big problems. Problem number one, I have a blank space on my garage wall. That is workshop sacrilege. I'm embarrassed. And problem number two, it's in here. Yep, I know, that's quite obvious. But the thing is, I get all these really good ideas and I go to write them down, but I get distracted, then I forget all about it. And then I get more good ideas and I go to write them down again, and then something else distracts me and I forget about it all over again. I think you get the picture. But what's the solution? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to make myself my very own DIY magnetic whiteboard. Yep, you heard that right. And I'm going to get the whiteboard and attach it to a frame made from pallet wood, and then I'll hang it off that vacant wall. And for me, that is going to be an absolute game changer. Alrighty, I think we've got ourselves a project. Let's do it. Now this is going to be a two-part video series, and yes, we will be having a competition with an awesome prize. So make sure you stick around and watch both of those videos for more details to come. Now video one will go through the whole process of applying that magnetic and whiteboard paint, and video two will make that pallet wood frame and hang the whiteboard up on the wall behind me. Alrighty, let's get stuck into video one. Sounds good. Now the backing that I'm using for my magnetic whiteboard is just this sheet of tile underlay. It could be plasterboard, sheetrock, drywall, it doesn't really matter. It's all going to do the same thing. And the success of your job will depend a lot on how clean that surface is. If this was a pre-painted wall, like the wall of a house, fix up any imperfections and then give it a good wash down with some sugar soap. This sheet here is still in its raw state, so I'll need to apply a prep coat prior to applying the magnetic and whiteboard paints. And just between you and me, I reckon that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and apply that prep coat. Now to apply the prep coat, you don't need to be a nuclear scientist. It's simply a matter of just rolling that on. Nice even strokes. And we just want to ensure that we get a good even coverage. And that's going on beautifully. And it's always a good idea when you're painting to lead with that edge there. Okay, that looks fantastic. We'll let that dry, and then once that's done, we'll come back and apply the magnetic paint. Now the good folk over at Monsta, M-O-N-S-T-A, have supplied the magnetic and the whiteboard paint for this video. So it's a big thank you to those guys. And now I can't wait to have a crack at this, because I really want to see if it works and is it actually value for money. Let's do it. And this is the magnetic paint that I'll be using. And to prove that it's magnetic, I have my favourite fridge magnet. It's 129 years old. And it's an 1889 1 penny with a magnet stuck on the back. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is the world's oldest fridge magnet. Show me a silver Roman denarius with a magnet stuck on the back and I'll concede. And as you can see, this fridge magnet just simply sticks to the side of that tub of magnetic paint. Magnetic, non-magnetic. That's what we're after. And as with any paint product, make sure you give it a really good stir. And I have to say that this is quite heavy compared to a regular tub of just normal house paint. So stir away, and when you get the kit, this stirrer comes with it. Now as you can see, it's becoming a nice consistency. There's very little odour coming off that, but I think they do recommend that you ventilate the room as you're doing it, as a precaution. It's becoming very smooth. Now I've been stirring this for about 4 to 5 minutes. I think we're almost ready to go. Okay, let's roll this magnetic paint on, and for best results, use one of these foam rollers. Now these also come with the kit. Okay. See how we go. Now it takes 2 coats with a 2-hour drying time between coats, between applying the second coat. Alright, that's looking pretty good. I'll leave this to dry for a couple of hours, then I'll come back and put the second coat on. Beautiful. Now here's a quick tip. There's no need to wash out that roll up between coats. Just simply grab some foil from the kitchen and you can wrap that around the roller, which will keep it nice and fresh. Too easy. Alright, that first coat is now dry. There's a slight texture to it, and as far as the odour goes, you can hardly even smell it, which is really good if you're doing this inside a classroom or an office type situation. Okay, on to the second coat. That's covering beautifully. It's rolling on very smoothly, which is good. Not tacky at all. And that is looking pretty good. Beautiful. Well, I'm back. The magnetic paint is dry and I've just given it the old magnetic test. And just between you, me and the fence post, it's not too bad. These are everyday fridge magnets. That is laminated plastic and Uncle Knacker's self-portrait. And it does the job quite nicely. So far so good. Alright, onto the whiteboard paint. Now the whiteboard paint, also known as Write Paint, comes in 2 parts. Part A and Part B. And you mix these 2 up to a ratio of 1:4. Give those a good stir and you're good to go. And for the best results when applying the whiteboard paint, the kit comes with these foam rollers and also a measuring cup so you don't mess up those ratios. Alrighty, let's do it. Okay, let's do this. Alright, first coat. And I do recommend a ventilated room. There is a little bit of odour, not too bad, but there is some there. Now that is looking pretty good. This is the first coat. I won't bore you with painting the second coat, so I'll come back after that's done and we'll give it the big test. Alright, that's looking good. Okay, I think we're about good to go. So let's give this magnetic whiteboard the big test. Let's do this. Now let's just see how well this rubs off. Should be interesting. And that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Now I have to say that cleaned up quite nicely. It didn't come off in 1 or 2 swipes, as you could see, and I think that was due to the fact that when I applied the magnetic paint, I did it too thick and then didn't smooth it off to finish, which gave it an orange peel effect, and that made wiping off that whiteboard marker a little bit more than the 1 or 2 swipes. But all in all, good stuff. So that's it, folks. What do you think? My final thoughts? I really like it, especially when you can paint an entire wall with the stuff. Opens up a world of opportunities. You could have an office type situation. I can just see this as a great way of getting better engagement from your workmates during one of your boring old presentations. You could project a life-size image onto a wall and draw arrows to it and around it and on it and brainstorm things. In classrooms, your kids' bedroom walls, you're really only limited by your imagination. And I can't wait to put this into a frame and hang it up on my garage wall, which by the way is going to be my next video. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. Now onto the fun stuff. It's competition time, and to qualify you need to be a subscriber to my channel and also have that notification bell clicked. So if you haven't done that, do it now. And as per usual, I'll select the first 20 correct answers and they'll go in the draw to win today's fantastic prize, which for Australian residents is a 1 litre magnetic whiteboard paint kit, and for overseas entrants it'll be the 1 litre whiteboard paint kit minus the magnetic paint. Alrighty, on to the questions. Question number 1. What is the name of the whiteboard paint in this video and who makes it? And question number 2. What year was my Uncle Knacker's self-portrait drawn? Now I don't want to give too much away, but this might be a little bit of a hint. Just a little one. So get to it and good luck in the competition, and make sure you stay tuned for my new video coming up shortly where I'll frame this whiteboard and then hang it up on the garage wall. Should be a good one. Alrighty, well I hope you enjoyed and found that video useful, and as per usual a big thumbs up is always greatly appreciated, and if this is your first time to my channel, please hit that subscribe button for more handy tips. And speaking of handy tips, check out my brand new website at DIYForKnuckleheads.com. I'll leave a link to it in the description box down below, where you can grab yourself a great deal on that whiteboard paint, as well as find a host of other information DIY related to projects, ideas, resources, etc, etc. So make sure you check it out. Alrighty, I think I need a cup of tea after all that. So till next time, be safe, and I'm out of here. Cheers.